Olivia. I love your energy. I have to say, I've always really loved all the energy you bring into the space.
Thank you.
It helps to remind me to lighten up too, to be loose and lighten up.
That's my goal. Just for us all to be loose. Because I get nervous on camera. So I just got to just roll with it. Just like be myself. Use the nervous energy for good.
Yes, exactly. I support it. I support it
Thank
100%.
you. Thank you. So I'm going to introduce you because we've been friends for a very long time, but maybe not everybody knows you. So I am here with my friend Melissa Danielle, and I'm going to read her bio. Melissa Danielle is a catalyst and change agent for personal growth, desire, intimacy, and asset-based community building. And her website is honeybeeholistic.com. And Melissa is also a graduate of Institute for Integrative Nutrition. She's actually the person who encouraged me to walk this path of health coaching as well. So just another one of the many reasons why I love Melissa.
Thank you, Olivia. Yes, we've known each other for well over 10 years. Yeah. You're one of my first group of adult friends. friends I made on purpose and not, through circumstance or logistics like school or work, but actual friends.
Yeah, like on purpose. It's pretty good. Yeah, definitely. You're like one of my oldest friends who by choice. I don't really have a lot of children friends. I mean, friends from childhood, but that's another can of worms. But I'm really happy with all the friends I have as an adult. So today we're gonna have a conversation about being health coaches, and also about body image and how being a coach, any of the pressures or freedom that comes along with that. So I figure we'll start by describing our bodies in 5 or less words. How would you describe your body, Melissa?
I describe it as juicy, flexible, soft, round. I say, yeah, those are the words. That's what I've got. Yeah.
I describe mine as like energized.
Like strong. Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I love that. I think those are all really, really good. Let's see. I guess I'll answer it. My own question, but I'll go for it too, because I was like, oh, I really like that question. I would describe my body as like energized and kind of like this. I know it's not a word, but that's how my body feels. And just, yeah, I think those are my words for my body. And
those are very fitting for you.
Thank you. And how would you describe how do you feel about your body?
There are certain parts of my body that I wish were stronger. Like I wish I had more strength in my upper body, especially in my shoulders, and I'm working on that. But other than that, and maybe a little more flexibility in other areas, because that's what because I use my body in my work a lot. The things that I notice more is where the limitations are in my strength and my flexibility. And so that just means that I need to do more of the things to increase the strength and flexibility in those areas. So right now, my shoulders and my arms and my shoulders, and definitely, being a little more flexible than I am right now.
Cool. flexibility and strength increasing.
Yes, yes.
What are some of the things that you love about your body?
I love that it allows me to do what I want to do on a daily basis. Unlike some of my relatives or peers that live in the suburbs, like I always notice what my body can do when I'm with other people who don't use it a lot, use their own bodies. So when I'm with my friends who drive and are in the suburbs, like I notice how their body responds when they come visit me in New York City and we walk everywhere. And so when they get out of breath, walking, 15 minutes, walking to the subway, having to walk all these different places, walking up and down subway stairs, that's when I really noticed that my body is a lot stronger and I have more endurance than they do. And for all intents and appearances, they look more fit than me. So I noticed that, and then I ride my bike for transportation. So being able to get over the New York City bridges without getting off my bike it makes me feel really
nice.
good. And yeah, especially the Williamsburg Bridge because it's the steepest of the bridges. So being able to get over that bridge without having to get off and walk is it's no small feat if you're you know not someone that engages in if you're not an athlete or you're not like a bike messenger who's always going across those bridges. But I love that I can go from one end of Brooklyn to the other, and I can still do what I need to do. So those are things that really make me feel good about what my body can do, and being able, because I work with farmers and I have to do a lot of heavy lifting sometimes in my work. So knowing that I can lift 50 pounds with relative ease, and I'm always amazed when somebody's like, "That's really heavy, BK. Let me help you get that." And I'm like, "I got it." Like I don't give off the appearance that I got it. So so that definitely is a nice little ego boost that I can handle my own in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it is cool to be able to kind of, to appreciate the functionality of our bodies and the beauty and strength in that as well. I love that appreciation.
Right.
And impressing other people with it too.
Yeah.
How did your training at IIN and working as a coach impact your perception of your own body and even other women's bodies?
That's a really good question. As you know, integrative nutrition, doesn't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to health and wellness, and so there was never an emphasis on what a body should look like. And so I think that was really great. And what was helpful to see during my program, and I was one of the ones that got to do the live program, is that you see so many different people, so many shapes, so many different ages, plenty of middle-aged women and men next to 18-year-olds and 20-somethings, and everybody coming from all these different experiences and experiencing transformations to their health that didn't necessarily affect their weight. So, and that's what, so I think that's the main, one of the things that has helped me in these past 10 years is that it's not about your weight. And it doesn't mean that for some people that weight isn't an issue, but it's not something that health coaches need to focus on in order to be successful and to show their clients results. So A lot of us have clients who may initially come to us because they want to lose weight, but then by the time they're done with your program, they may have lost a lot of weight, or they may not have lost any weight, but they have gained all these other things. So they walk away saying, I sleep better, um, I have more energy, my acne's gone, my bloating's gone, I'm no longer constipated, I'm having better sex, I'm talking to my wife again. Like all these things, all these other things that come up, um,
Yeah.
that have had these positive impacts on their lives from the changes that they've made, which they thought, which they probably initially thought, well, if I lose 15, 30, 100 pounds, all these things will open up for me. And, we look at it and say, well, you may not lose that weight, but in the meantime, you still change those other things, and what might that look like for you if you didn't focus on the weight? So, yeah, that's been one of I think the best selling points. There are a lot of great selling points of the integrated nutrition coaching program, but that definitely is one of them.
Yeah. It is a really good one. It was something that I feel like I personally wasn't aware of about health coaching when I first knew that it existed. I thought it was all about just like getting people to like be like super buff, but really it's about like the whole person, and like
Right.
their whole quality of life, and also just like you said, like just like the like kind of like the things that are what someone might think is like the end result of having like a like kind of body, whereas like you can just have all of that without conforming to like some specific idea of what you think you should look like or something.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Do you feel that like as a plus size woman who is a health coach, do you feel like you ever get shit about that? Because like not everyone's coming from this education that we have, about bodies and health. Do you ever experience any negative feedback from people or anything?
I've never received any negative feedback. It's not also something that I lead with, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Um, I don't talk about my health coaching, and where like I don't actually very rarely talk about body, uh, shape, size, image, weight, or anything, unless I'm saying ditch the diet, ditch the detox, or unless I'm saying, dieting is the best way to gain weight. For those people
Yeah.
who are struggling with weight issues. So I've not personally experienced it, personally or professionally. I also don't know if someone has chosen not to work with me because of whatever their perceptions are about my size. They've not expressed it explicitly that that's the reason. But also I think too because I don't lead with weight loss, and um, I don't say I help people lose weight. Like that's not a part of my coaching practice. It's not something that's really important to me as a health coach. Even though if someone does come and say I need to lose X amount of pounds, it's certainly not something that I promise or guarantee them. So I don't think that. That's why I guess it doesn't open up any. It doesn't open up the opportunity for the person to say, well, look at you. What can you tell me about eating healthy or weight loss? And you look like that. Like, no, that never comes up for me. Most people are really interested in how I do the other things that I do. So that's never come up. Yeah.
That's great. I think you're attracting good people too. Also, possibly with your confidence and all that. And like, I'm curious, do you feel that that being like a plus size health coach and role model, do you feel like it means anything for the people that you do support?
I think it's important for people to recognize health at every size, and that's actually a movement for your audience out there. If they want to look that up, health at every size is at least a national movement of advocates and professionals to transform perception that you have to have a certain body type in order to be healthy. Um, and, you know, there's a lots and lots and lots of research out there across the board around food and health and physical activity and health and weight and health. And, you know, while they definitely feel that people who eat a certain way or have a certain percentage of body fat have better health outcomes, there's still no tried and true, you know, everyone must be this weight for optimal health. And there's also the recognition that once you put on weight, that it can become extremely difficult to get it off and maintain long-term weight loss. So, you know, what's more important is to promote better habits. So, you know, if we're promoting people drinking, you know, maintaining hydration, you know, being properly hydrated, eating more fresh fruits and vegetables, eating less processed food, being consistent with daily physical activity, maintaining healthy relationships, you know, making sure that their environments have the least stress factors as possible. Those things are more important and more dynamic in terms of long-term health and wellness than what the scale is saying, which also isn't an indicator of the scale is not an indicator of where you are health-wise. It's not measuring the proportion of muscle to fat, and muscle weighs more than fat. It doesn't take into account, especially for women, that women hold on to water more frequently, especially during, depending on what time of the month it is for them, in their menstrual cycles. And so, you know, women have all these fluctuations throughout a given month with their weight, anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds that they could be putting on and taking off within a given month. So, you know, and none of that determines whether or not you're healthy unless it's combined with a particular health concern, say if you have diabetes or high blood pressure, high cholesterol, things like that. So if you're overweight and then you have one of these other issues, then yes, your weight might be a contributor. But if you don't have those issues, then it's not something that you really need to focus on unless your weight is interfering with the way that you want to live your life, if that makes sense. My weight doesn't interfere with my life. It does not keep me from doing anything. And I mean anything. so, so, yeah. So.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't know about the health at every size movement, but I think that's so important and for people to know about. And yeah, I don't know. I think that was that was really good information that you just dropped on us, because I know personally, like, I mean, there have been times where I've been thinner or like the same size that I am now, but I've eaten like crap for like weeks or like months or like years, you know, like just like be like not eating well, not feeling well. And like, yeah, I think that a person's size is not, a person's weight is, yeah, it's not an indicator. of anything. I think that's so, like, it's just so important. Like, I mean, like, if I could just, like, play that on loop, like, 24/7 for, like, the whole year, I think it would be a better, like, happier place. Because I feel like there have been times, like, where, you know, like, I weighed myself and I was like, oh, that's how much I weigh. And then I started, like, with this judgment, even though I'm, like, super educated in that whole, like, dialogue, you know, and, like, understanding bodies. And, you know, even myself, like, it's like occasionally, like I'll catch myself and then I'll be like, oh, wait, like, you know, what is that? Like you said, like, what does it mean? It doesn't really mean anything specifically about you. It just means, like, that's how much you weigh.
Right.
Like, period.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to take a short commercial.
Okay, short commercial break. How do we do that?
Back.
Okay. I'm going to turn my camera on.
Okay, I'm back.
Back. Unmute now.
I'm back.
I'm back.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I just had to clean my nose. I don't want to do that on camera. Yeah.
Well, your nose is great. It's so clean.
Yeah.
All right. So, when I originally was like, oh, I want to talk about body image because people in my tribe seem interested in body image, you were like, oh, cool. Well, you were talking. You said you're like, oh, great. I kind of want to talk about how I feel like I wasted $600 or was it $800 on Bootcamp. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So, over back in the late spring, I'd taken on this job that was very physically intensive in a way that was different for me, that I hadn't had to deal with in a long time, standing on my feet for several hours. And so I would come home exhausted, and I was just like, oh, you know, it'll go away after a month. And I didn't get used to it after a month. And so then I was just like, maybe I need to build up my endurance, and I need to really pick up, you know, some consistent physical activity. And so I thought that I could resolve the issues that I was having with this job by signing up for this boot camp. And I probably should have said, like, I definitely have, I trust my intuition, and I always pay attention to what starts to tingle, when my body starts tingling when I get information. And I ignored it largely because I just said, maybe it's ego, maybe I'm being resistant. But the more I went through the program, the more I realized that it was not aligned with my core values, especially as a health coach. So in my practice, I don't count calories. I don't restrict food with my clients. And then I found myself in a situation where I was having to restrict food. And then I was watching the other participants share, you know, their issues with cravings and, you know, realizing that they had particular goals, but after the boot camp, could they go back to eating what they wanted? And how do you deal with that? And so for me, it was really disappointing in that way, because you know, in my practice, when I'm helping people work through stuff, I try to take into consideration that these people have lives and they want to have real full experiences. So they want to be able to go to the cookout and the baby shower and the, you know, the happy hour or the all you can eat every now and again. Like they recognize that that's not something that they should be doing every night. but they want to be able to enjoy themselves, go to a party, have a good time, and they're eating and not eating that. And so the more I went into it, the more it just was like, this is not aligned with who I am and how I want to live. And even getting there was a chore for me. The,
Oh, Melissa, it's pausing a little or slow.
So the thing that I realized was that I needed also, and so I started recognizing I needed to go back to all the things that I enjoyed, which was pulling out my hula hoop and hooping until I passed out, like my abs continuing or my hips and my abs continuing and I passed out. Or just put on some music and dance. Or just go for a bike ride. Like those are the things that I could do that would make me feel really good in my body. And I didn't need to do this 6-week boot camp that felt like a chore. And it felt incredibly frustrating to have to, because like this one, weight loss was a real emphasis. And that was even like the first thing where I was required to put a weight loss goal in. And I said, I really don't have a weight loss goal because I have no sense of what my body is going to look like 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds or whatever. Because I've largely been the same weight for the past 5 years. So I don't have a sense of what a smaller body would look like. Because for me, I feel like I've always been a bigger girl. I've always been a big girl. I've always had, like, my boobs are hereditary. Can't get out of them. They, like, all the aunts, like the aunts, my sister, we are proud members of the Tiggo Bitty community. So that's not going anywhere. And we are women that have ample bosoms and ample hips. And then I ride my bicycle all the time, so my thighs are big. So there's no getting away from me having a larger body than most, just because of the way. And then I grew up dancing, and you get a different kind of body when you are in the type of dance that I did growing up, where I had ballet, jazz, African, and tap. You get a certain type of body shape that comes out of being in that sort of training, that kind of training, dance training growing up. So, so it's like, this is my body. This is my body that has kept up with me working on farms, that has done 70-mile bike rides, that has gone kayaking along the East River, that has biked from Bed-Stuy to the Upper West Side to the Harlem River Drive and back to Brooklyn. So, not being able to put down a weight, that was one of the first things I was like, well, this is probably not a good idea because I don't have an ideal weight that I feel like I should be at. What I wanted to be was stronger, to have more endurance and to be stronger. And so it didn't. And then I really enjoy high intensity workouts. Um, and it definitely was intense, but it wasn't fun in that environment, um, for me. And it's not to say that it's not a fun environment, because definitely watch it, like listening to the women, and it's mostly women that participate in this program, uh, observing them and seeing how they respond in the online community. They love it, but it wasn't a good fit for me. Um, and so it's like, it wasn't really a complete waste, but I guess I had to spend that money in order to have that internal dialogue with myself again, to remind myself about what my values are, and how to keep making choices that are aligned with those values versus doing what you think that you're supposed to do to get a certain result.
Mm.
So, so it was a good lesson, um, and then I got a good tip from one of the trainers about my fallen arches, um, and about how to correct them. So that good came out of that, and I've been, doing my own exercises to help rebuild, my arches in my feet, and help me out in that way, because that also has a lot to do with its respond to certain movement, the pressure that I'm putting on, my feet. So, there was definitely some pluses came out of that. I reconnected, and it turned out that someone that I had met a long time ago was a personal trainer with that company. So, was able to reconnect with him. So that was nice, and so there was some value in it, but definitely it was just like, girl, you had to spend $600 to do that. So, I know better now. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, we need reminders like that. Like, I love how you described like getting that tingling feeling, and like it was like your intuition telling you something, and I guess you remember that.
Yeah.
Like, totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see.
What else you got for me?
What else do I have for you? Oh, I wrote down some good questions. This is the last one, but I like this question. So I was thinking, like, when I was like thinking about things to talk about, I was thinking about the idea of how it can be liberating and radical to really accept, for each of us to accept our body like as it is right now, and especially as a human being, as a coach, it's like it's an ongoing challenge for me to hold space for accepting my body the way it is now, but also like holding space for transformation. And I know, I just, especially like hearing about your experience with the boot camp makes me think about that. I mean, I don't know. Do you ever experience that, something like that? Like how do you find a balance um, between like loving your body the way it is, but also craving to be more, like stronger and, have more endurance?
That's for me.
Oh, I hear you now. I hear you. But your image isn't changing.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to
But
ask you to repeat the question, because I missed the actual question.
oh, okay. Like, do you ever like, how do you keep a balance between like accepting your body as it is and like loving it, and also wanting to hold space for transformation, like you described, like you want to be stronger and have more endurance.
Okay. So this is especially for women. I think what really helps me is that that I have to be surrounded by people who actually love the way my body looks. Um, and because I will make jokes about especially because I love food and I love to eat, and I will often make jokes about um, certain things that I'm doing. So if I go to I go to one of my favorite places to eat, and I'm just like, it's Fat Girl Friday. I am here for the food. Um, and or I'll make a thing. I'll say, I don't need to be eating any more of that. Do you see this? And sometimes I don't take it seriously. I'm having a lot of fun, but it's always interesting to see and to observe how other people respond. And largely, people are quick to tell me that my body is fine, I think it's important to be surrounded by people who can tell you that and mean it. The other thing is, I think women need to spend more time naked. Naked where you can be naked. Don't don't take your clothes off and walk through Times Square. Don't paint yourself up in color. but just in your house, if you take a shower, there's no unless you are you're having to be somewhere. There's no reason why you can't hang out naked in your home, and just be naked. Just walk through the space naked. Um, Spend time and have a full length mirror and get to know your body. Do the from
I can still hear you, but it's slowed down. Can you hear me? Right hand. Let the sun shine in.
that is able to give someone else visual physical pleasure. And just enjoy that, because especially when you get a massage, you start to feel where you hold stress and pain and tension and tightness. And once you really start to notice where you store things in your body, it helps you be more in your body. Dance and yoga also have that same effect of helping you really live in your body and to really recognize just pay attention to what your body is doing, how you think about your body. And then it's just the rest of it is just taking it a moment to moment, day to day process. Being in daily gratitude for what your body is able to do. So for some of us, can barely walk up a flight of stairs, let alone take a 3-mile bicycle ride, right? So I'm grateful that I can walk up a flight of stairs and maybe skip steps as I go up sometimes. If I get the right momentum, I can, skip 1 or 2 steps up on my way up. Be grateful for that. Be grateful that, that your body can move the way that it does. be grateful that, that you're in it. It's your body. You've accomplished so many things with your body. Make a list of the things that you've accomplished with your body. So whether that is, your body takes you to work every day, maybe you birth a baby or two, um, maybe you have really great sex in your body, um, that you love to dance and people love to dance with you in your body. Um, People like you snuggle up like your cat and your dogs love snuggling up next to your body or your partner or your kids. Like just think about all those little things that your body does. That great food and nourishes and gets you from point A to point B. So just be thinking about all those things and be thankful for it. And then just remember that that we're countering a lot of hard and hurtful messages about body type and, what constitutes beauty and health and strength. And that a lot of that has nothing to do with us. They're all trying to sell something and it only matters if we make it matter. So none of that stuff has to matter. Surround yourself with people who love you and who recognize you for all the other things that you have to offer, and also can celebrate your body because that is important. Yeah, that's what I got.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I feel like, I'm gonna write these all down because I think that they're awesome things for people to do. At one point, it kind of broke off after being naked, and then I heard massage and yoga, but I don't. Did we miss anything in between that, like between dancing?
No, it's just to be, there's not a rush to get dressed. Unless you're waking up at 8 o'clock and you're supposed to be awake. But if you're coming home, if you're coming home from work and you don't have anything you need to do particularly, take your clothes off. Come out of your bra.
Oh my God! I feel like taking off my bra now. Melissa, can you hear me? I hear you, I think, but you're frozen. Melissa, we got to get you back. Can you hear me?
I'm just hearing you now.
Oh wait, now I see. Now I hear you. Did you turn off your camera?
I didn't.
Oh, I don't see you. It's all black. It's just black and it just has the name Melissa. Weird.
That sucks.
But I hear you so much better now, though. Google Hangouts.
being
Oh, I hear you a little bit now. It's like, wait, I see you. It's frozen, but I see you. Oh, you hung up and called again.
I didn't do that.
What? There's 2 Melissas. Do you see that?
Yes, I didn't do that.
Weird. Hi, other Melissa, and whatever. That's cool.
Yeah, you can take that other Melissa off. That's really interesting. I didn't do that.
Okay. I'm just gonna eject the other Melissa. Okay.
Yeah. So did you catch what I said?
I catch what you said. Take off your bra, and I was like, I gotta take off my bra, and I think that's what set the internet on fire. Like, cause then it got broke up. I was like, I'm gonna take off my bra right now, and then the internet was like,
yeah.
But I heard that, and then yeah, I think that was kind of, and then it just
yeah. So no, it's like take off your bra, take off your clothes, be naked in the privacy of your own home. You know, there's no rush when you get out of the shower to put clothes on. Be naked, and I think that's where it starts. There's a lot of women who are so afraid of their bodies, and I think that it can start with being naked.
Mm. Yeah,
It's
I think
part of
that's a
a
good
self-care
point.
practice.
Being
Yeah,
naked more, like just kind of just
yeah,
like nothing wrong with it, you
yeah.
know, and just kind of like it's like our natural state. I mean, my cats are awesome. They're always naked. It's not
You're
holding them
always
back.
naked. Yeah, always.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Big,
idea.
Big Bird was naked all our lives.
Oh, not Big Bird. Oh my God, he was. He
I guess
was
if you want to just not count the socks, the striped socks, but he was naked all our lives.
Yeah. Oh, well, this has been a wonderful conversation. So many good, like, gems. Gems, tell you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and having me on here.
Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being interesting and being so open. And I think really inspiring. I know that there's a lot of things that you discussed today that I personally am going to incorporate into my own life and also just in my way of thinking and approaching things. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
I'm glad that I could offer that up for you. Yeah, it's been so much. I have to actually say too that it's been so inspiring to watch your evolution as a health coach. And we can have another conversation. I actually plan to have a conversation about several conversations about the integrative nutrition experience and how coaches go out into the world. And I definitely want to say that I'm really proud of how you have put yourself out there and how you think about yourself and as a health coach and how you want to share your message and your gifts with the world. And it's been really inspiring to watch you. And I have to say too, you definitely showed up in a more dynamic and purposeful way than I did when I graduated. So I definitely I'm just like, wow, if I had Olivia when I was in school, like what, you know. But so yes, I definitely have enjoyed watching you progress and you know, we're all on this journey. Health coaching is really a journey of self-discovery that we invite others to participate in. And that's one of the other things too. There definitely are so many health coaches who graduate, and then for all the reasons that they can come up with, they tell themselves that they're not going to be a good health coach. For a lot of what you talked about, they think that their appearance means something. And your appearance really is probably the last of it. What's really important is that you get your message out, because there's someone out there that is going through something and they think that they're the only one. And if you get your message out there, let them see that there's someone else who has a similar experience, who has gotten through it, and that there's help. That there's help, there's light, there's a way. And so we can't be concerned about how bright and shiny we look. It's at the end of the day, the bright and shiny is important too. I mean, definitely, you want to look professional and you want to look like you care about yourself, for sure. But at the end of the day, what people really want is a sense of community and a sense that that they can get a different result than what they've been trying. So, yeah. So here's to us, you and I, and health coaches such as you and I, who are being in our own bodies and delivering an experience of health coaching that is unique to us. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we definitely need to have more conversations about that, because there are so many things that you could use as like reason to not show up for the people who need support for you, just because of like that whole like thing of like view of ourselves, like the view of ourselves. I mean, I totally deal with that, but I'm like, I'm gonna deal with that and do this other and try to help people, but it's a constant like renewing that vow, that happens. So yes, we should definitely talk about this again on camera and beyond. Yeah. All right, love you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Olivia.
Bye.
Bye.